In standard medical science, human biology is a biochemical machine. Diseases are understood as physical clashes, pathogens invading cells, proteins misfolding, and tissues mechanically failing. But an alternative theoretical framework suggests physical matter is secondary. Here, the body is governed entirely by the continuous interaction of plasmatic, gravitational, magnetic fields. This framework attempts to solve a specific problem in pathology, identifying the exact boundary where a strictly energetic disbalance materializes into physical disease. The foundational unit is a GANS, gas in nanostate. It's a solid physical core enveloped by a pulsating plasmatic magnetic field. These units act as active nodes within a vast energetic network, determining the state of every organ and cell. To decode the unique pathology of this system, we have to look past biochemical mechanics and map the human body as a collection of interacting magnetic fields. Under this model, pathogens are categorized by their state of matter. Bacteria are classified as purely physical entities, operating at the baseline gas state of matter. Viruses, however, exist in a higher energetic condition known as a plasmatic free state. A viral infection is not a physical breach. The virus carries a gravitational magnetic field strength significantly higher than the fields generated by human amino acids. Instead of physically destroying the cell, the virus magnetically locks onto the amino acids field. It behaves as a parasite, continuously siphoning away the host's energy. This sustained energy drain triggers severe cellular depletion across the body. The most critical physical consequence is often an extreme loss of red blood cells. This plasmatic mechanic is proposed as a direct countermeasure to severe pathogens like the Ebola virus. Conventional medicine treats Ebola as a physical contagion. Effort is directed toward physical isolation, barrier protection, and symptom management. The plasmatic framework suggests a completely different countermeasure. Rather than attacking a physical entity, it proposes neutralizing the viral field by introducing a parallel artificial plasmatic field, specifically a carbon dioxide GANS. The chemical logic relies on mimicry. Because carbon dioxide shares the baseline carbon and oxygen elements of human amino acids, the CO2 GANS emits a nearly identical biological magnetic signature. This triggers what the theory calls a twin star locking mechanism. The virus is tricked into locking onto the CO2 GANS instead of the living cell. The GANS then harmlessly absorbs the excess viral energy. By matching the pathogen's energetic frequency, this protocol bypasses the physical structures of the body entirely. The infection is resolved purely through magnetic energy absorption. This cellular logic scales directly to macro-environmental applications, utilizing devices referred to as star formation reactors. These reactors combine 4 specific elements: hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon. The interaction between their magnetic fields generates a bright central core of free plasma. If this central free plasma absorbs enough energy to supersede its constituent elements, it detaches. It becomes a self-sustaining entity, structurally identical to a viral field. This precise principle dictates the theoretical rules and hazards of deep space travel. In the open universe, the primary biological threat to humans isn't physical microbes. It is floating packages of rogue gravitational magnetic fields. These space-bound field packages operate exactly like terrestrial viruses. They lock onto the free plasma of human cells and initiate a rapid, fatal drainage of cellular energy. Within this system, the vacuum of space is understood as an ocean of predatory magnetic fields. This energetic mapping extends beyond external pathogens. The same plasmatic principles are applied to internal systemic conditions, like high blood pressure and diabetes. This system classifies these conditions strictly as emotional diseases of energy consumption. The physiological chain reaction begins with high emotional stress. This stress forces a massive surplus of plasmatic energy into the emotional centers of the brain. Unable to process this surplus, the brain functions as a release valve, dumping the excess emotional energy directly into the physical bloodstream. The baseline elements circulating in the blood, specifically sodium and iron, act as sponges for this dumped energy. As the sodium and iron absorb the charge, their internal plasmatic volume radically expands. The underlying physics of the disease are straightforward. The physical volume of the blood vessel remains fixed, but the energetic volume of the particles inside it multiplies. The resulting mechanical strain forces the blood pressure to skyrocket. The physiological pressure originates from a conflict between the body's physical actions and the intent of the soul. When a person siphons unearned attention or energy from others, a behavior categorized here as emotional theft, they create an energetic surplus that overloads their emotional center. This forces the brain to vent the excess into the bloodstream to maintain balance. If left unaddressed, the soul attempts to restore this balance manually. This often manifests as sudden physical ailments or external accidents designed to burn off the stolen energy. In this model, every unaddressed psychological transgression eventually manifests as measurable mechanical pressure in the cardiovascular system. Reversing these conditions requires a strict two-pronged deployment protocol, the application of physical nanomaterials combined with complete emotional alignment. The physical side involves the mass distribution of CO2 GANS reactor kits, engineered to match and lock onto external viral fields. The deployment of this theory is a logistical reality, complete with global shipping networks, digital tracking numbers, and community groups setting up units. The proponents of these GANS mechanics actively cite data published by major terrestrial research institutions to support their energetic models. But resolving internal systemic diseases demands a second, strictly psychological protocol. Users are administratively required to sign and internalize a World Peace Treaty, a formal agreement to cease operating as an emotional thief. The physical CO2 kits are considered incomplete on their own. Without the psychological alignment enforced by the treaty, the body's internal plasmatic fields remain volatile. Attempting to treat a measurable medical condition with a psychological peace treaty directly challenges the established authority of traditional medicine. Within this theoretical universe, mastering human health cannot be achieved through chemistry alone. It requires engineering nanomaterials in one hand and structurally aligning the human mind in the other.